What's up guys, welcome to Shifting Gears, and today we have with us Volkswagen's only SUV for the Indian market, the Tiguan. Volkswagen's previous attempt at the SUV segment with the Touareg wasn't very fruitful. It's taken quite some time since the Touareg was discontinued for the German brand to come up with a better answer for the SUV-hungry Indian market, but finally we have it. Slotting in a segment where it rivals the likes of Ford Endeavour and Toyota Fortuner, the Tiguan does distinguish itself by being a more easy on parking space kind of SUV. With prices starting for almost Rs 28 lakh, does this SUV have what it takes to find buyers? Let's find out. The Tiguan is the only SUV in the German brand's portfolio. No compact SUV or any larger 7-seater biggie either. So what would you compare it to? Pricing suggests that it can rival the Fortuner or the Endeavour, but the space inside is more in line with the Jeep Compass and the Hyundai Tucson. But since the Tiguan is positioned as an SUV, it gets all-wheel drive as standard. It does feel like a premium product inside out. And in terms of dimensions, some comparisons can also be made with the BMW X1. Just like every other Volkswagen, the Tiguan continues with bold straight crease lines all through, and there's plenty of them to appeal the target audience. In terms of size though, the Tiguan is a little humble. Park it next to segment rivals and the Tiguan will feel more car-like, or rather crossover-like, but not a full-size SUV. It's more to do with the overall stance, which makes the Tiguan more grounded. But that's not a bad thing at all, especially when it helps the dynamics. The Tiguan comes loaded with features you can boast around when talking about your car. LED headlamps with LED DRLs, LED tail lamps, a large panoramic sunroof which gets a very soothing LED surround, LEDs on the door trim, roof rails, snazzy looking alloy wheels, illuminated scuff plates, body cladding, rear spoiler, shark fin antenna, a very bold and likable front grille, and ample of chrome accents all around. All of this does justify the asking price and also makes the Tiguan stand out as a premium purchase. One can buy the Tiguan with an option of 5 colors to choose from. The styling department has nothing much to keep harping about. It is minimalistic and in that way at its likable best. The Tiguan has a design which, just like the other German cars, would rather age very well. Top-notch build quality is what you would instantly feel once you step inside the Tiguan. The all-black interior trim with contrast stitching does feel very sporty. Thanks to the panoramic roof though, even with all black interiors, the Tiguan does not feel claustrophobic at all, with ample light coming in. Just like the outside, the interiors of the Tiguan are also sharp and sport angular design elements. Fit and finish is typical of German cars and will make your cabin experience very enriching. Flat bottom steering wheel with audio controls, twin pot instrument console with MID, fantastic sounding 8 speakers with a touchscreen infotainment system, supportive seats with electric adjustment, cruise control, button start, soft touch plastics, auto open for the tailgate, 3-zone climate control, heated front seats and leather upholstery does give you that luxury feel inside the cabin. The subtle ambient lights look very classy, but there's no color options here. The Tiguan is not a big SUV, so it is clearly a 5-seater at best. There's no 7-seat layout even as an option, but there's enough room for 5. After driving around for over 200 kilometers, I could comfortably catch up some sleep after handing over the car to my colleague. The driving position allows you to get a high up view typical of SUVs, as well as a car-like viewing angle with the seat adjusted to the lowest. Even at the back, the occupants in the Tiguan remain happy. There is no shortage of headroom or legroom at all. The problem in the second row is the XL-size transmission hump, which will unsettle the 5th occupant, especially if he or she is a full-size adult. Space for luggage, you may ask? The Tiguan offers you 615 liters of boot space with a 60-40 split rear seats and ensures you won't have to make multiple rounds to move around your bags. The Tiguan comes to India only with a single engine option. You can own this SUV powered by a 2-liter TDI turbocharged 4-cylinder diesel motor producing 143 PS of power at 4000 RPM and 340 Newton meters of torque between 1750 to 2750 RPM, matched to a 7-speed DSG automatic gearbox with 4-motion all-wheel drive. Now, Volkswagen claims that this motor will deliver a mileage of 17.06 kilometers to a liter. Both variants of the Tiguan, the Comfort line and the High line, come with Eco Mode, electric park brake, auto hold, paddle shifts, speed sensitive steering and a drive mode selector for the all-wheel drive system. The all-wheel drive system from Haldex remains engaged full-time and delivers torque to the front or rear wheels as and when the need arises. But most times the Tiguan works as a front-wheel drive car. Now the power and torque figures feel a tad low when compared to segment standards and also for the price that you are paying. But work the motor and you will be very satisfied. The Tiguan weighs 1.7 ton and although heavy, it is lighter than competition. Also, the monocoque chassis makes it dynamically far more richer and car-like. driving the Tiguan in the city or out on the highway is completely effortless. While it can surely be your car for weekend drives, it will also please you in the city traffic with its practicality. NVH levels on the Tiguan are best in class, but you would feel some wind noise creeping in at speeds above 100 km per hour. The automatic gearbox is smooth functioning and eager to shift to higher gears to ensure that things are at its efficient best. Best way to have fun in the Tiguan is by engaging the obvious sport mode. While the engine is at its responsive best in this mode, the steering also weighed up just to our taste and enhances the overall driving experience. The Tiguan sprints over 100 km per hour with ease, and that's no surprise. But even on high speeds, say above 150 km per hour, the Tiguan stays very planted. There is very little body roll and not that most would notice either. Unlike other German cars where you complain that the ride quality is stiff, the Tiguan begs to differ with a very compliant suspension setup. I caught up a quick nap on my way back on the rear seat of the Tiguan and I couldn't have asked for a more comfortable back seat. No thuds felt and the bumps were soaked up very well. What we really loved on the Tiguan was the Eco mode. In this setup, the engine disengages the gearbox once you lift the throttle. The car can then simply coast and reduces the fuel need and helps you cover up a healthy distance. With the gearbox disengaged, there is no engine braking and hence coasting is at its maximum. Only when you hit the brake or when the engine senses some load, the Tiguan engages the gear as per the vehicle speed and gets things back in control. Eco mode will easily deliver that 17 km to a litre claimed by Volkswagen. Throughout our journey, we were very pleased with the Tiguan. In a segment where people are buying just more real estate on 4 wheels with 4x4, the Tiguan is one product which is even fun to drive. Of course, the Ford Endeavour does handle well, but look at the Fortuner, it's just all over the place. So if you're out looking for an SUV in which you would be behind the wheel, the Tiguan surely deserves a test drive. It comes with all the bells and whistles, and for those who hate stepping out of the car, the Tiguan also comes with self-sealing tires which will not ask you to change to the space-saver spare wheel. Stay tuned to Shifting Gears for more and do remember to hit that subscribe button.